Confusion brews in the presidency as Minister of Labour and Employment Chris Ngige suspends the MD of NSITF allegedly on behalf of President Buhari. Hi, welcome to What's Trending. These are the top 10 stories now. At number 10, the Defense Headquarters said intelligence agencies, including the National Intelligence Agency and the Department of State Services, have launched a manhunt for the sponsors of Boko Haram and Islamic State of West African Province terror groups to finally put an end to the insurgency ravaging the nation. The military said the drawn-out battle against the insurgents is due to financial and logistical support offered to Boko Haram and other terrorist groups by sponsors from within and outside the country. At number 9, the Prime Minister of France, Edouard Philippe, submitted his resignation letter on Friday ahead of a cabinet reshuffle to be announced in the coming hours. No reason was given for Philippe's resignation, but a shake-up had been widely expected after French President Emmanuel Macron announced France must prepare for a very difficult economic crisis. He said there would be an economic, social, environmental, and cultural reconstruction. At number 8, pirates attacked an oil production vessel, BW Offshore, off the coast of Nigeria in the early hours of Thursday and kidnapped 9 Nigerian nationals. The vessel, a floating production, storage and offloading vessel that can produce about 50,000 barrels per day, was working at Okuri oil field. It was reported the attack on the 349 meters long FPSO involved 3 boats and explosives. The company is working with Nigerian authorities to get the 9 people safely released. At number 7, the United States has reported that it has donated over 16 billion naira to assist Nigeria's fight against the coronavirus pandemic. The U.S. Department of State announced that more than $41.3 million in assistance, which includes more than $3.3 million for health assistance and $34 million in IDA humanitarian funding for risk communications, water and sanitation, infection prevention, coordination and emergency food assistance, and nearly $4.1 million in MRA humanitarian assistance for vulnerable people. At number 6, the police have arrested a Chinese couple in Abuja for allegedly locking up their Nigerian employees in their apartment for the past 4 months. After a tip-off by a resident on the human rights radio station, the Utako Divisional Police Station rescued 8 domestic workers from the residence located in the Jabi area of Abuja. The police proceeded to arrest the couple and took the employees to the station. The driver of the couple reported that he and 7 others had been working against their will for the couple since the outbreak of COVID-19 in February. However, upon reaching the station, the employees refused to give a statement recanting their initial accusation. At number 5, the Defense Headquarters says the Air Task Force of Operation Lafia Dole has scored a precise hit on Boko Haram terrorist meeting venue and neutralized several terrorists at Main Yankari on the fringes of the Sambisa forest in Borno. The Coordinator Defense Media Operations, Major General John Eneche, released a statement reporting that prior to the airstrike, intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance missions established that a prominent building in the middle of the settlement was being used as a meeting venue where the terrorists plan and launch attacks as well as house some of their fighters. Nigerian Air Force fighter jets were dispatched to the area where a precision bomb strike on the designated target was dropped, completely destroying it. At number 4, the United Nations says it has suspended 2 workers involved in a recent sex video that went viral. The spokesperson for UN Secretary General Stefan Dujarric released a statement saying the UN was shocked and deeply disturbed by the footage and that both employees had been identified and placed on administrative leave without pay, pending the conclusion of an ongoing investigation into the case. The video, which surfaced online last week, shows a couple apparently having sex on the back seat of a UN official car in Tel Aviv, Israel. At number 3, the Nigerian Center for Disease Control has released a statement reporting that infected young people within the age of 20 and 40 bracket are responsible for the rapid spread of the coronavirus in the country. The agency reiterated that the elderly are the most vulnerable and urged the youth to take responsibility by ensuring they did not get too close to the elderly. The Director General of the NCDC, Dr. Chikwe Ihekwezu, said it is obvious that transmission among young people between the age of 20 and 40 years, as far as we know, are really driving the spread of the virus. But those that are bearing the brunt of it are people aged 50 years and above. At number 2, Nigeria's total public debt portfolio has risen to 28.63 trillion naira. The Debt Management Office has released a report that explained that the country's total debt rose from the 27.4 trillion naira recorded in December 2019 to 28.63 trillion naira in March 2020. This indicates that within a space of 3 months, the country's public debt portfolio grew by 1.23 trillion naira, representing 4.48%. The total external debt obligations report released at the end of March 2020 showed that the debt was at a 9.99 trillion naira, which is about 970 billion naira higher than 9.02 trillion naira, which was recorded as external debt obligations in December of 2020. And finally, at number 1, confusion brews in the presidency as the Minister of Labour and Employment, Chris Ngige, suspends the MD of NSITF, allegedly on behalf of President Buhari. Ngige's action seems to have crossed the line with the position of Boss Mustafa, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, barring cabinet ministers from removing heads of agencies and parastatals they supervise. Mustafa said a new policy approved by the President has forbidden ministers from taking the law into their hands, but allowing them to make a recommendation on the penalty after the board of the agency has issued a query. It is reported Ngige's action has brought issues of inconsistency among Buhari's cabinet. Always remember to wear your mask, wash your hands, and stay safe. That's all for today. See you next time on What's Happening.